like 3 more Phil Collins songs.
Yeah.
At
Danny,
some point, just through Facebook.
do me a big
Sure.
favor. Can you check the stream and see if it works, the MMAjunkie one? Because now it looks like it works, but it gave a little error message.
Man, I'm so stuffed.
Hey, we're on.
I ate a lot of that buffet.
Did you?
I
only
don't
had
see
one.
anything
Not a
live.
lot, but more than I needed to.
Goes.
Yeah?
I don't see a live video on MMAjunkie.
Okay, let me restart this then. Damn it.
Yeah, the last thing I see posted. Windows open on my computer is that.
I think this one worked. Sorry about that, anybody who was watching our stream. We were just
I
doing
didn't
a
get
little.
to say hi. 2
What?
minutes. 2 minutes.
That's our producer Danny in the background.
Hi. Me though. I'm not working with the greatest computer in the world.
No?
I see us.
All right. Well, I just turned on. It usually takes about a minute or two to get going. Man, I forgot my workout clothes today. So I got to go home, change.
You gotta duck out quick.
Well, it was scheduled for 10 or 12:15, but now I got to go home and change and then go back. As a fool, George. I'm a fool. On today's show, Alex Garcia. He just came off a big win over Mike Pyle. Jarred Brooks. He's going to be fighting Ian McCall. A lot of heat in that fight for it only being like a 2-week-old matchup, right?
Mm-hmm. Hey, girls, can I tell the story about the bus ride in Japan?
I don't know.
I mean, I won't say what was said, but I just thought it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
No?
If you want, you can tell it and you can be me.
Up in 30.
No, all I was going to say was I nodded off on the bus ride from our hotel to the airport. You didn't nod off. You said you were hearing interesting stories, right?
That was all in, yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's making sense now.
Alright, guys. Coming up at 10. Stand by.
Can they hear when Danny says that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hi.
This is your captain speaking. We are making our descent into Las Vegas McCarran Airport. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying MMAjunkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is gonna be a little bit bumpy.
Alright, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMAjunkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Goes. This is what we doing while we do it, baby. All night long, we rollin'! Yeah!
The MMAjunkie Radio revolution is upon us.
Can you dig it?
There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communication stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMAjunkie Radio and SiriusXM satellite radio technology. MMAjunkie Radio. Commence transmission. Live from MMAjunkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goes.
From the fight capital of the world, inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Racing Sportsbook, you are listening to the MMAjunkie Radio Show. I'm your host, Gorgeous George. With me, as always, is the devious and dastardly Goes. Ari's co-host, stuffed like I am, right, Goes? We had that buffet in the morning.
No, I just had a small plate.
Really?
Yeah.
You see a couple of the cousins were like eating pineapples and bananas.
Yeah, they had apple. One plate had an apple, a banana, and a box of cornflakes.
And I was thinking, each person was $25. Eat up, kids.
Hell yeah.
Put some pancakes on there or some
In
eggs
fact,
or
they
something.
shouldn't even have that stuff at a buffet.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I think at
Get
that point
real.
you've made the decision to just be. You can go anywhere. You can go to this coffee shop and just buy a banana, right?
Yeah.
Danny's back east, handling all the producing duties. What's up, guys? On a Friday morning, excited about the weekend. Could care less. Where do you sit with all this?
I'm excited. Tomorrow's gonna be a fun day, and then
Because of the fights, or because it's Saturday?
Because tomorrow's the 10-year anniversary of Extreme Couture.
Oh, it's tomorrow.
Yeah. So
Okay, we gotta pop in there.
go in there and have some fun, and we remember.
Would have been nice if you reminded me yesterday when we almost were headed to State Line.
I always blame it on me.
Well, I don't know,
Forgot.
just because
Yeah. So there's that, and
you said it like in a way where you're like, oh yeah, I've been planning this, And all that.
yeah.
I just completely spaced it.
State Line isn't that like later in the afternoon? I think this starts at like 10. doesn't
Yeah.
it? 10
Well, it's off, so we're not going to State Line. All right.
so there's that.
We'll be
There's the fights, and then it's the first weekend without football, right? It's gonna be kind of weird.
It is kind of sad. There's no Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl was in between the the AFC and NFC championship games and the Super Bowl. So there is no Pro Bowl. That was it. All the colleges are done. Even the recruiting's done. The next glimpse of anything major in football would be the NFL draft.
Yeah.
And that's usually the third week in April. So we have a solid 2.5 months.
Well, I'm
Or,
pretty
let's
happy.
just say
'cause
2 months and a week of no football talk. Now, there's the occasional, on March 1st, if the Niners don't cut them, they owe this guy $16 million. There's that kind of talk, things like that. But I'm talking about, like, stuff that makes waves. When that NFL schedule comes out, man, people hop on Southwest, Expedia, their favorite travel websites, and start making their plans for the following season, yours truly included. But it was a fun season, I think, overall.
Yeah.
High school,
I mean,
college, and pro.
I like college basketball, so I'm pretty stoked for a while. Then baseball season starts, but there's a lot of people that just like football, and they gotta wait a long time to get that fix.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
why you got MMA in your life.
Definitely. And this is the show that matters. I think it's too late, but I'm going to double check. The World MMA Awards, it goes down in March, and we'd love to take our 6th Best Media Source trophy home. I think Dan Stupp has so many by now that he may even allow us to keep the second one. Unless the writers start asking, maybe. But it would take so long for him to get to them all that I think he may just say, let's just leave it at the radio studio for now.
It's home base, right?
If you give it to John, then Steven's going to go, what about me? If you give it to Steven, John's going to go, what about me? If you give it to Matt, you know what I mean?
John's got one, right?
Does he?
For his, yeah, he was.
Oh, John's got his own. Yeah, John's got his own. The 2009 Best Journalist. He won it I'm not sure if it was the first year that category was introduced.
I think it was the first year that they did a live show.
Right. And then after that, Ariel Hawani's won like 5 or 6 straight. So, but John does have a trophy. In fact, that came up on the Underground, the UG. People were asking about John Morgan. A lot of them came to his defense, acknowledged all the travel he does, the fine work he's done. And then there's a few others that you just can't get through a thread without a jackass or two in there talking about, a person. So, whatever. At least they know of his existence. And like Kevin Lee once said, if you ain't got haters, you ain't popping. So it's good to read a couple hate comments. I'm okay with it. I used to not like it, but I've accepted it for sure. I do the comments for our show. At the end of the show, I go in there, and for the most part, I think everybody says some really nice things. And
There's got to be people that aren't going to like you. I mean, you could be the nicest guy on the planet. It doesn't mean everybody has to like you.
yeah,
It could be something about you that people don't like.
right. And I don't mind it if it's genuine, but if it's just hurtful, then I think you're a jackass.
Look at his stupid hair, that sort of thing.
Right. I like it when people are when you bust balls, but in a tactful way. Oh, I don't know. Like, I think it's funny if somebody, not funny, but if somebody were to laugh it off better than you end up. But
Some people.
It just officially became 100% full.
well, you could still call in 866-522-2846. But we have some sort of an announcement or what goes?
It's Friday, man. Everybody wants to talk about that thing.
What thing?
One of the biggest things that you could possibly talk about. But I don't want to bore you with any details. Let's just go straight to the phone lines.
Really? All right. This is unusual, but we'll do it. He's back for the second time in 1 week. It's Chasm in Toronto. What's up, Chasm?
Hey, guys.
Hi.
I just finished listening to yesterday's show. I wanted to call in and share my parlay for 208.
Go for it.
Okay, yeah, so I have a parlay of Ian McCall and Islam, don't know what his last name is, how to pronounce it, and then Poirier. If you put 100 on them, the payout is 344.
Okay. Poirier is about what, minus 350?
Yeah, I think so.
McCall, I know, is about minus 115 because it's almost a pick 'em. And who was the other guy?
Islam Makachev? I have no idea.
Makachev. All right, Makachev's right there, goes. You see him? He's
Yeah,
minus
he's
300.
minus 300.
All right, so how much is your parlay?
I'm putting 100 on them.
100 pays you 300. All right, it's because you have 3 favorites and 2 of them are big favorites, but that's still not a bad payout.
No, on like the website that I picked, Ian McCall is the dog. He's plus 215.
215? No way.
Yeah, last night I just picked this.
What's the website?
It's wrong.
WeMakeCrazyOdds.com?
Yeah, it's plus 105. You make sure, double check and make sure, because usually all the sites are pretty close together. It's not plus 215, brother. I can tell you that much right now.
No, I'm pretty sure. I'm looking at it right now, man.
All
Really?
right. Take a screenshot and put that up on Twitter. I'm dying to see
you know what, man? Forget the other two. Just put 100 to make 215 on Ian McCall. Just roll the dice with him. Why even sweat the other two guys out for $85?
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. All right, my man. Good luck with that.
Very cool. Hey, thank you.
All right, we'll see you.
Bye.
I bet you when he goes in there, it's gonna say error message or something. They catch each other.
Hey, sometimes you can.
Sometimes there are
places.
mistakes. Yeah, mistakes have been made in the past. I know a couple junkies that have caught mistakes either by accident or on purpose. And when you go here to Mandalay Bay and you go, I'd like to cash in, by then they've caught it.
Mm-hmm.
And they give you 2 choices. They say, we can either pay you, but you can never bet here again, or you can just hand us the ticket, and you're more than welcome to keep betting here.
And you get your money back for the
You do
for
get
the
your
bet.
money back. Yeah, like it never happened. So mistakes have been made is all I can say. I see Ian McCall at plus 105. But if he's getting them at plus 215, that means 100 pays 215. So why risk the 2 other fights for an extra $85? Just go with Ian McCall.
Yeah.
Is what I would say. All right, next up, Hal in Chicago. What's up, Hal?
Hi.
How you been?
I've been excellent. Except a few times in the last 2 weeks, I hear somebody calling in as Professor X. And we all know who this is. It's DJ Tony. I don't know where the Professor X came in. I want to stun gun Danny for even indulging that.
Really?
Wow.
I kind of like
Wow.
Professor X.
I think you might not be making it through the phone screener the next couple of times.
I didn't even know who Professor
Wanna
X was
start
until
that.
Hal
Don't you threaten me.
Until Hal just kind of maybe half outed him, but I didn't know who Professor X was. It kind of threw me off.
You're kidding, right?
I really
Yeah,
did.
you sure it's Tony?
Yeah, I don't think so, man. But go ahead. What else you
Coming
got?
at ya!
Well,
That
there's
didn't give him away?
imitators. There's imitators. I actually thought it might be you imitating Tony, but then I thought, nah,
Holy
Hal's
shit.
not doing that. But anyway, what's up?
No, yeah. No, and I would come up with a much better name than Professor X for sure. Listen, I want to give credit to
Hey, what name would you come up with?
Kieran. Me?
Yeah.
Probably Paul.
No, it's not better than Professor X.
Just Paul.
You know? Yeah.
All right, go for it.
In fact, you might recall Paul from Manchester. Called a few years back.
I do, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was me. See, that's how a professional does it. But anyway, I want to give credit to Kieran Fitzgibbons and you guys. Awesome interview. And this is a perfect example. Sometimes I listen to the show all the time. I know there's some people out there that just listen when they see a big name or something. Don't do that. Listen to all the show, especially you guys that are new, kind of, new to the show. listen to everything, because I was same thing. I was kind of like, all right, but you know, I've heard these guys. It's you know, line fights and things like that. And then this guy comes on and blows my mind with that story about how he, you know, basically became guardian of that kid from Peru, and he doesn't take money from his fighters. I never heard that.
I know. You know, I thought I pitched that to the editorial, and I know they were busy this past weekend. They'll be busy this weekend, but I really thought that was a fascinating story.
Yeah.
And
Kieran
Fitzgibbons wasn't scheduled to be on the show, but he happened to come by. And for those that don't know, it's last Friday's show with Gaston Bolanos and Zoila Fausto. He told the story of how he met Gaston, who will be debuting at Bellator 172 on February 18th, the same card as Fedor Emelianenko and Matt Mitrione. Goes, Gaston's the nicest guy. But when Kieran was talking about him as a young kid, he made him sound like a fucking punk. Like an asshole, you know?
But he took it like a man. He was like, you know what, I was a punk.
He just sat there kind of like, you know, and I kept thinking they're both going to like look at each other and go, and start tickling each other. We got them. But that was the honest, true story. I guess he was just intolerable at some point, and Fitzgibbons didn't give up on him. He told the story. Gaston kind of admitted, like, yeah, I guess I was kind of like that early on. I thought I knew it all. But he wound up being his legal guardian. So he was able to stay here and not have to go back to Peru. And together they've obviously, you know, they flourished. You know, I think one's improved as a coach, the other one's improved as a fighter, and he says he's like my dad. And I thought it was a really, really fascinating story. And then Fitzgibbons gets into the fact that, like Hal brought up, he's never taken any money from his fighters, which must mean that his gym must do well, or wow, I mean those are just his ethics. I really think for the time you put into someone, there probably isn't anything wrong with compensation, at least some sort of compensation.
Well, you got to stay afloat, right? I mean, look at American Top Team. They probably take one of the smallest percentages I've ever seen.
Right.
That's amazing. So you could see where that puts a guy like Kieran Fitzgibbons for taking nothing.
Right. And yeah, it sounds to me like you're getting quality coaching too.
It's tremendous. Everything that we love about MMA, a lot of it is in that story, in things that people watch movies about, $1 Million Baby, all this shit. This is real. This really happened. And if you put it in a movie, I wouldn't believe it. You know, it would just be another cliched story, but this that much more powerful. So that's the power of the Junkie Nation, Junkie Radio. Everybody tune in for every episode.
Thank you for calling in, brother. All right, we'll see it.
Hey, George. Aaron from Minneapolis thinks that you can't get somebody to sing a song on today's episode.
Watch this.
It could be the song of their choice.
Junkie Hotline. Brandon from Louisville, you there? Brandon, I think I hear him.
He's got stage fright.
All right, I'm going to put Brandon back on hold. This guy won't let me down. Mike from Jersey, you there?
Yeah, here, what's going on?
All right, listen, man. We don't know each other very well, but you got to do something for me. You need to sing a song right now that's going to be heard live on SiriusXM, on a bunch of replays, on iTunes. We're a top 200 show, top 100 show. Facebook's blowing up, YouTube. So I'm not kidding you. A lot of people are going to hear you. But if you don't do this, I'm going to look like a jagoff. So I need you to sing a song right now. Go.
Hold on. So first off, I'm the one that's going to make you look like a jagoff?
Yes.
I thought you do that all the time.
I do. Well, I'm going to look even worse to the 10th degree.
That was a creative rip, though.
All right. Well, the only one I can do right off the top of my head is Happy Birthday. So.
Will that work?
Happy birthday to you.
Wait, hold on. I'm going to tell you whose birthday it is. Hold on.
It's Rob Robertson's.
Is it? Okay, you're going to sing to Rob Robertson. Happy birthday. Go ahead.
Happy birthday to you.
Sounds sexy for him.
Happy birthday to you.
Hit these notes.
Happy birthday, Rob Robertson. Happy birthday to you.
Nice.
That was good.
Good job.
All
you could have
right.
laid an egg, but you came to bat. I like
Yeah,
it.
thanks, homie.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, pipe down.
So what's on your mind?
All right, I want to talk about the state of the flyweight division after Ian McCall wins tomorrow.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, well, I have my own little personal issues with Jarred Brooks. I don't want to bore you with the details, but he is a little punk, and he does need to learn a lesson, and I'm fully behind Ian McCall on this. So after Ian McCall wins, with him having a tie over Demetrius Johnson and the division being so weak, do you think that he would get propelled right into a title shot, or do you think he would need to win another one before getting a shot?
Benavidez has won 6 straight, and he just beat the opposing coach of Tough 24. I don't see how you jump over him. Unless McCall did something like a la Cody Garbrandt, where he's just punking his opponent, and he does it, and he's charismatic, and he gives the world's greatest speech afterwards, and maybe even climbs on the fence, and Demetrius meets him halfway, and I think maybe that would convince Dana, we got to do this fight. But it has to be Benavidez at this point. And I could see maybe McCall fighting the winner off that, but I just don't see how it's anything but Benavidez.
Yeah.
Other than if Benavidez were to proclaim himself as an injured fighter who just did something serious to his body and cannot fight till later this year. I think Ian is very marketable, and this fight does have some heat. It's got a lot more attention than it did about a week ago. So the possibilities are there, I think, for a title shot in 2017, but not coming off this fight.
I really like Ian McCall because there's a lot of potential matchups for him. He's been on the shelf for a while. Who would you see as a possible suitor after his victory tomorrow?
If McCall wins,
if they're thinking the same way that you are, where hey, we still have something here because they got to find Demetrius opponents, then I would say they would give somebody a little bit further down the line. I hope Ian wrecks him, because you're right. There's no way you can't avoid Joseph Benavidez.
Like, I think they want to leave Pettis alone. He's kind of had a little bit of resurgence. I think Brandon Moreno alone. Young, rising stars. I think they want to leave him alone. So I think maybe what you do is you say, hey, Moraga, you want that one more shot?
Okay.
Here's McCall. Or, hey, maybe, I mean, they already cut Makovsky. They already cut Bagautinov. But like a veteran like that, you know what I mean? Maybe Ray Borg. Ray Borg's got Jussier Formiga coming up in about 3 weeks, so the timing might work there. Winner of that gets a shot later in 2017. But avoid Pettis and avoid Brandon Moreno for now, and just let them do their thing. Or maybe even Tim Elliott. Tim Elliott lost, but kind of made some headway.
It's a scary fight, though.
It is, yeah. But that's something what we want. Another relevant fighter. We want timing, and then let's see what we can do in 2017. Hey, great call, and thanks for not leaving me hanging, all right, bud?
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you. You want me to go back to Brandon, who I think would not have let me down?
All right.
Or are we done with the singing?
No, why not?
Okay.
This is you hanging on the rim.
Brandon from Louisville. Brandon, you there? What is this, a fucking joke or what?
What's up, guys?
Oh, all right. Brandon.
You wanted me to sing. I had to get my auto-tune going.
Okay. If you don't sing, you're not on the show today. It's as simple as that now.
I did just sing.
No, that was
No, you did
We're
not sing.
Stupid.
Start singing or I'm hanging up. Sing anything. Johnny Cash or whatever you like out there in Louisville.
Guys, y'all do not want me to sing. I mean, the show, viewers are dropping. You know, you don't need me to zero this one now.
Anything, Brandon. Come on. Don't lay a goose egg.
Oh, shit. No, not doing it. Sorry.
Well, then the viewers aren't the only one dropping.
Damn.
You just
but
got
if you
dropped.
leave me down, you take away the biggest part of me. Ooh, girl, baby, please don't go.
What's the big deal?
What would you have sang, Goes, if you were Brandon right now?
I would have done the same thing. I would have hung up.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the problem? It can't be worse than Mike from New Jersey, whatever he just did.
I didn't know that was an option. Yeah, I would have done that if I thought of that, but I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah, all right. Let's go to Showtime in Tennessee. What's up, Showtime?
What's going on, fellas?
How you doing?
Oh, chilling, man, chilling. Listening to you guys entertain me as usual, man.
All right, what's up, brother? Oh, you know what's funny? And it's funny because our editorial's listening, and I was going to say the same thing. McCall at one point he will tell you himself, he was kind of a punk in high school.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is a guy that
said in the last interview.
He's openly said he and his friends would go to the parties and try and take your girlfriends, and if you had a problem with it, then guess what? We're fighting. So for him to come around and actually be the good guy here, that's quite a turnaround.
Yeah.
And check out Lords of
up,
South
man.
County. I think it's what it's called, right? The Lords of South County. And I don't know what his participation was, because obviously there's been some denials or no comments along the way.
Was Shane
but
part of that
they
too?
say Shane De Rosario, rest in peace, UFC heavyweight, Strikeforce heavyweight, Rob Emerson, and Ian McCall. They either had an affiliation or knew the guys or were there. Who knows? Because I don't know that anyone's actually ever just completely just sat there and grilled them over and over about it. But anyway, they'll all tell you, hey, yeah, we had our moments.
We have kind
Dana
of grilled
Point
them
High
about
School.
it.
Yeah.
And they've come out and said we were dumb, we were young, but they grew up.
So that there is some irony there. But this is, that's high school, and this is a professional sport. And I think that's what Ian's trying to say is there's time to be a professional, and enough with the jibber jabber. We're going to be fighting, and the lessons will be taught on Saturday. Continue, Showtime.
Hey, that's funny as you guys talk about that. I can remember being in college, me being a football player and running with a lot of the football guys who used to run around and try to start fights at the clubs, but the locals wasn't going for that. They had guns, so they really wasn't playing all that fighting crap. I remember a couple of times we started, well, I didn't start nothing, but a couple of my homeboys started some stuff, and when it's time to go outside and get in the car, the locals roll up with shotguns, pistols, and all other kind of stuff. So that's interesting. You have to watch, even if you can fight. Even being a pro fighter right now, a lot of guys not gonna fight. They're gonna shoot you. So you gotta kind of watch that.
Didn't you go to DeVry though? They don't have a football team.
Man, you crazy. That was a good one. You bust my balls on that one. Hey, I was looking. Ian McCall is a plus 115 on 5 dimes. I don't know what he might be on.
Yeah, we got plus 105 here. So they're close.
He may have pulled up. Let me see if there's anyone in that range. Teixeira's he's minus 200. Let's see here. Carnero's plus 240. So I don't know. I honestly don't know what he was looking at. That must be an error. If you can go in there and exploit it, great. But even online, I've been told, because it's illegal for a North American to do that, but I've been told online you'll go in there and do it, and then you'll go through the steps, and even before the fight hasn't started, you may get a message like an hour before, 10 hours before, that says this wager was not able to be completed or something like that.
Basically, nice try.
Yeah, kind of. Nice way of saying nice try.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Man, do you guys think Jim Miller has a chance to freaking flush 360, man?
I think Jim Miller has a shot. Why not?
Yeah,
like I said yesterday, every camp he gives you 100%. You know he's not going to gas. He's good. He's decent on the feet. He's great on the ground. Why not?
The one thing, because we haven't interviewed him as much as we have in other years, he has been, struck with some illnesses. The latest I heard about was the Lyme disease. But didn't he have something else that he revealed to us months after a loss? What was it?
Yeah, I don't remember. I want to say it was had something to do with his breathing or something like that.
Yeah, and so there's those are those intangibles that we don't know about. The only thing you share it with is maybe your coach on why you're missing a practice, or you're just not giving it your full effort. So with us not catching up with him as frequently as we used to, I really don't know what's going on. I mean, back in the day, you kind of knew, what gyms he was hitting, what coaches he was working with, who his manager was, but he's kind of parted ways from all that, reinvented himself. So that one I feel is a little bit more risky.
I just read that he said he has everything under control now. That he was saying he had been sick with the Lyme disease, but he's supposed to be good going into this fight with.
No, I know that. I know that. I'm going to pretend every guy is 100%, but we know every guy and gal isn't 100%. So when you start looking at 12 fights this week, and there was 12 last week, and there's 12 next week. Next week's the one with Derek Lewis, right? You just start looking at the board and going, I don't need it. I don't know everything I need to know here. There's too many question marks. I'm just going to skip it and move on. Again, that's if you're a big-time money player. If you're a small-time parlay player, then yeah, roll the dice. See what you got. $10, throw Miller in there, see how it goes. I mean, he's the underdog. There's a good chance he won't win, but if he does, all right, great. If not, you don't get hurt. But if you're rolling around some big dough, then I think you want to know a little bit more about each fighter, and you want. I always like to look for consistency. Fighters that bounce back from a loss, how have they done? Have they peeled 3 more in a row, or did they all of a sudden start to tank and lose 4 of the next 5? So I like to know consistency, because like Goz said, who's giving you an honest camp, who's giving you an honest fight?
Man, I think there are a lot of sweet dogs on this card, if you ask me. I'm sitting here licking my chops looking at some of these
Well, just
dogs.
give us a parlay then, player.
Isn't Showtime kind of sound like Foghorn Leghorn right now?
I like a parlay with Rick Glenn. He's minus 210.
You just start off by
I also
saying you
like-
are licking your chops because there's underdogs everywhere. You get the first thing you gave me was
Yeah, but I'm gonna throw one of them in. You gotta have something. You just can't do it all all dog
Okay.
part. I mean, you can do it, but
Okay, what
then
else?
I got Ian McCall at 115. I'm actually rolling the dice with Holly Holm plus 115.
Well, you really went out on a limb there, Showtime. So you're taking McCall, who's a longtime guy, a former Tachi Palace champion.
Yeah.
We just talked about the draw with Demetrius Johnson, and he's going with Holly Holm, the former bantamweight champion, former professional boxer.
I think she's one of his favorite fighters, though. Right?
All right, yeah, all right. We
Right.
said we bust balls here. That's what we're doing. All right, thanks for the call, Showtime. I thought he was going to give me like a nugget. Is what I thought he was going to give me. And he basically, I mean, come on, McCall's almost even money. Glenn's minus 200. Him licking his chops. He didn't really deliver. Holmes plus 115. All right, that one didn't go as good as I thought.
Man, you're
Licking
coming up
his
the callers
chops.
today.
Yeah. Who's up next? Chris from Fresno. Is that music I
That's
hear?
music, yeah.
All right, it's music time. All right, we're going to do our break here. When we come back, we'll talk to Chris from Fresno. He's going to start things off. And then there's a couple people on hold. I think I can get them to sing, too. We'll be right back. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM, Rush 93. It's Michael Nagy. Right?
Hey, idiot! Yeah, you. Can you please tap that rather large fellow on the shoulder and tell him it's time for more MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Goes? Thank you.
This is Michael Nagy from South Carolina. He stopped by the studio the last couple days, and he's funny. He's cool. So I figured, why don't you co-host this segment with us?
Yeah.
But I guess Goes wants me to try and figure out who he sounds like, right?
All right. So let's try this. We're going to try this with
song
music. I just sent you the text, but don't try on this. Just read it, just in your normal voice.
Hey, wait a minute. You sent me the text?
Yeah.
One I got before?
Yeah.
Okay. I've been driving a Lincoln for as long as I can remember.
Oh, Matthew McConaughey?
Cool breeze on my face. Moonlight shining in my eyes. Whether it's a convertible or a hatchback, I just need 4 wheels and a long stretch of highway. Oh, yeah.
Dude,
I guess he does sound a little bit like him. Yeah, you're from South Carolina, so I don't know how close. You know, they say Southern accent, but that's not close to Texas.
Right.
So I don't know how much the dialect.
I think we can get away with it. How many times have we heard somebody go, "El Salvador, Mexico, same thing"?
Right.
We get it all the time.
Yeah. In fact, I just saw that in a movie or a show the other day. I think it was
Crash.
Was it Crash?
Probably, I imagine.
Yeah, there was another movie that was also being shown. I think it may have been. I forget. Doesn't matter. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How long
man,
have you been listening to our show?
At least almost 8 or 9 months now. When I found y'all, I was.
How'd you find us?
On YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Tune in, I guess what it's called. Yeah, tune in.
Tune in.
Yeah, it's like a replay. So I've always had to listen to the next day because I didn't know. Can I tell them what I told you earlier about what I thought? Who I thought you guys were when I heard you the first time?
Oh, I thought it was that story that you said that you...
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you
okay, I didn't know if you had time. So anyway, when I heard y'all talking, and there's no video in TuneIn, you just hear sound, you know? So I'm thinking, okay, this is a pretty cool show. They got, evidently, I thought, George, you were a black fella, no doubt. And Goes, I thought you were a young white kid from the suburbs.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, all right, George could voice over for Boys in the Hood, and Goes could voice over for 90210.
So that's really what I saw. Ice Cube and Zach Morris here in the morning.
Man, I thought that's what I got, man.
Huh. John Morgan's been told he sounds like a brother.
Yes, he does.
But I don't think I've ever heard. Yeah, Samuel Jam, I think it could pass.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I've ever heard that. Well, that's cool, I think. Yeah. That means I got a little bit of that.
Yeah, a little swag in your voice and how you talk, and yeah.
All right, cool. Well, hang out with us for a second here. We're going to take some calls. Our guests don't come till the second hour. We'll be talking to Alex Garcia, coming off a win over Mike Pyle. We're trying to drum up some interest, get some names out there, see who he'd like to fight next. Because, as we say, fighters need to be more vocal. The organization wants it. Fans want it. Media want it. And so, Alex, I think, we're going to catch up with him, see what's next for him. Also, Jarred Brooks, he fights Ian McCall. On Saturday, UFC 208. It is a pay-per-view. It's headlined by Holly Holm and Jermaine D. Randami for the inaugural women's featherweight title. You excited about that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good fight. I've been looking some numbers you guys were talking about, placing some bets and who you saw.
Are you going to go out on a limb like Showtime?
Man, I got a couple, and I want to do a parlay 3. You guys were talking about it yesterday, and maybe double down on somebody. And then I heard some information. Dustin Poirier had a interview today, or yesterday he did, talking about all the issues. Not issues, but, he's got the new child, the new baby and all. And evidently he's been having to travel back and forth with the baby to practice, staying up at night. So he's had some stuff going on, trying to, keep up with the family stuff. So I don't know if it's going to affect him or not, but we'll see. We'll see.
George, yesterday when he walked out of here, he was 75% for the Junkie Gathering. This morning he walked in at 80.
Nice. He's making progress.
Yeah.
I just got another text from Showtime. He says, all right, what do you think of this 3-teamer? I really like underdogs. Give me Barcelona. They're playing their under-17 team in a scrimmage.
Right.
He says the Globetrotters against the Generals the next time they play. And the last one is should Ferguson fall out of the Nurmagomedov fight and someone steps in within 24-hour notice who's never fought in the UFC before, I'll take Nurmagomedov.
Okay.
So that's how he rolls. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Up next, looks like Kendra has been waiting the longest. What's up, Kendra?
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend, Friday, getting on down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend, partying, yeah, fun. Looking forward to the weekend.
Good job.
That was really good. That cheered me up.
That was nice.
How about you? Were bobbing your head, right?
Yeah, man. I was going for it.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, so just something you guys mentioned a second ago with UFC 208 and Holly and Jermaine headlining that pay-per-view. Does it really seem appropriate that it is a pay-per-view card? This is one when you can't secure Cyborg Santos, you drop her down or drop the card down and maybe do a Fox card. Do you want to pay that much money for this title fight?
I agree. It lost its luster, but I don't think it's as easy as that. It's happened in the past. I don't know that it can just become a Fox card. I think those are very well planned in the past, but it could be a Fox Sports 1 card. I mentioned earlier this week or late last week that the UFC, if they get past 150,000 buys, pay-per-view buys, financially it is rewarding for them. Not as much as 500, 750, a million, or a million plus, but there is money to be made there. So I think they just sometimes are willing to take it on the chin and say, all right, hey, we're still going to promote it. They'll never openly say, it's not as best as some other ones. Boy, we're really taking it to you guys. But I think once a decision's made, they really try and roll with it. Now, to their credit, next month they have an interim, Nurmagomedov and Ferguson, Woodley and Stephen Thompson. I think as the roster's starting to come around, the fight cards will get a little bit better. So some cities just win, some just lose. They were trying for Aldo versus Holloway. They couldn't make it happen. I mean, they actually kind of announced it once Holloway won, so efforts were being made, and that's all I like to see is efforts being made. Speaking of Dallas, we got – holy shit, I just blanked out. You heard about it, though, right? No. They just signed a fight. They did. They got Verdum and Rothwell, who I thought was going to be the co-main, and then the main itself, which is Stipe and JDS, and they just signed a fight card yesterday.
While you're figuring that out, can I touch on this card still?
Yeah, sure.
All right. This is the way I look at it. If this card was announced
Bisping
today,
on his show was saying him and Yoel Romero, it's looking that way for Dallas.
It's not official.
Wow.
No, but I mean, he kind of said it was, and that's a guy that revealing what he's seeing in terms of bout agreement. So Dallas is really coming together. Marco was going to buy his ticket yesterday, and he hadn't even heard that one. That's a huge bonus. That makes Verdum and Rothwell a featured bout, and it just keeps getting more stacked and more stacked. Goes.
If this card was announced today, okay, we would all probably say, okay, this card is shaping up. What's that headliner going to look like? What's that co-main going to look like?
For this one, 208?
For this one, yeah. We would all say that. If this came out as a Fox card, we would say, that's a step down from what they've done in the past on Fox.
I agree. And they took. That's why I didn't like them taking off Lewis and Brown. I thought that added some appeal to it. I think Lewis is becoming a big name. But what are you going to do, man? It's done, man. It's done. I'm just happy I'm not involved in the card in any way in terms of going there and covering it. All right, Kendra. Thanks for the call.
Okay, one last thing. I got to leave you with this, though, because Hal was whining about the prices. The tickets cage side for Bellator 175, King Mo versus Rampage. It's at $250 a seat cage side. What would you pay for that card? What's too much?
Okay, thank you.
You're talking to us or Hal?
Well, I want to answer it too, but I think Hal. So, what are Bellator's tickets usually like? I've never really done a study on them.
Probably half that, I would say. For where? For where do you want to sit? In Anaheim?
Let's say he wants to sit cage side.
In Anaheim, I think the guys were able to get an upper level seat for $50.
So I'm saying Bellator cage sides are usually what, about $150?
Probably.
And they want
200?
$250 for Chicago. I mean, he might be right. I don't think you want to go over 2 bills. I just don't know that their roster commands that. You know what I mean?
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's right there for me.
Yeah. Your thoughts?
Yeah, they have the don't they have the mains early, and then everybody else like fights afterwards, just to keep the keep people there.
They have a lot of local fighters.
So the 250 is a lot, but then they do have a lot of fights, and they're local, and they probably figure people are going to pay local prices to see their guy.
I suppose if Chandler was also on the card defending, maybe you can touch on 2, I guess, but I wouldn't like to see it more than 2. I don't proclaim to be an expert on their pricing, but
if I'm a hardcore MMA fan and we're San Jose,
I'm familiar with UFC
Fedor,
pricing. UFC pricing is really good for Fox cards, and those Fox cards are usually still a little more stacked than a Bellator card. So I think planning accordingly, Bellator just can't go over 2. 2 would be their ceiling, but I'd like them to keep it at 150, 175, or 2 in the event of a barn burner type card. All right, we better take our last break, and then when we'll come back, we'll do some more phone calls. 866-522-2846. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93.
Do what they say. Your life will be a lot better. Here are Gorgeous and Goes.
All right, let's see here. A shout out to Raimundo Martin. He always like to say, "We rollin', yeah," which makes me want to give a shout out to Burt Watson. Paul James says, "Woo, my favorite part of the evening. Good evening, gentlemen." I think Paul's in the UK.
Yeah.
So that's why it's evening for him. Danny Creighton says, "Good morning from the Colorado River in beautiful Parker, Arizona." Benjamin Cummins is predicting that Jarred Brooks will have a second-round TKO win. Mike Gonzalez. He doesn't like my shirt ensemble. And Antonio Jesus Marchena Cisneros says, Buenas noches and feliz fin de semana. You know what that means?
No, sir.
You can figure it out. I'll say it again. Buenas noches. You never been to a Mexican restaurant? You go in the evening and they go, Buenas noches.
You know, it's weird because my son's wife is Mexican, so.
It basically means good evening and happy weekend, right? Have a nice weekend.
What?
Feliz fin de la semana. Yeah.
Have a good weekend.
Okay.
That's basic English there.
I'm going to work on it.
Okay.
I'm working on it.
Dean Fish says Brooks KO, second round.
Damn.
Chasm wants me to check our Twitter mentions. What's that?
Calling it KOs in that division is a little rough because they just don't happen as often, right?
Gabriel Katz, hello from Uruguay.
Oh, nice.
Yes. We had some really good friends from Uruguay growing up.
They have a very small population, but they're monsters sometimes in soccer.
They're great. They're great soccer players, and they're also great rugby players. They're not the elite, like they're not the top 6, I'd say, but they're probably like a top 15 rugby country. And a couple more shout-outs here. João Vitor Filipai says hi. Gabriel Kautz. Home or Randami? He wants picks from us, Goes. Who do you like?
I've been going back and forth. Last night I switched back to home because, I mean, Greg Jackson, he's not going to have her
You switch
stand.
back to home, really?
He's not going to have her stand. That'd just be foolish. Wow. So, but I also think that Randami's probably worked that. So I'm going to stay with Randami.
Oh, okay. Who do you like?
Me too.
Me too.
Randami,
And I'm feeling better about it little by little.
I've watched Purple put her against the cage, and she's hardly you can't get her down. She has got some defense.
She's very athletic. Yeah. Just to finish out the shout-outs here, Brooks is going to murder Uncle Creepy, according to Andy Owsley. Now, what I believe is that Brooks fans are just prevalent in the MMA Junkie chat here, because I can't believe that many people have those types of strong feelings towards one fighter being that much better than the other one.
He's a good fighter, man.
Brooks is tough, but I think some of these must be fans of his, and that's fine. McCall's tough too. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We'll take one, and then we'll start the second hour with more phone calls, 866-522-2846. Now, to be fair, Chris from Fresno was waiting a while. Then he hung up and went away. Now he's back. Marco, however, hung on longer. So I'll have to go with Marco on this one. What's up, Marco? How you doing?
¿Qué pasa, vatos? Hey, Mike.
Hey, brother.
All right.
All right.
There you go. You do sound like freaking dude. Hey, so I did hear the freaking show with Michael Bisping yesterday about the probable fight on May 13 with Romero.
Yeah.
And then Romero called the show, man.
I saw
it turned into a screaming match, but it was gold, dude. They just scream at each other for like a solid 2 minutes.
I couldn't make out what Romero was saying other than, I mean, I'm basically going to kick your ass, but I couldn't make out too much of what he was saying.
You know what, man? I think in scenarios like that where two fighters get heated, I think the advantage goes towards Michael Bisping because he's been able to show in the past in these type of matchups where there's heat, he can level out his emotions and still fight with his brain. Yoel, I could see maybe getting a little too heated and just going all out. A lot of people like Yoel in this fight, man. I'm telling you, Michael Bisping has a way better chance than people are giving him.
If you want to if you want to hear the show, obviously, the countdown's available on our on-demand feature for SiriusXM. If you just want to hear the exchange, I caught it via the SoundCloud. Danny, the official SoundCloud for Rush, what is it so that people can go in there and listen to the the ones you put up and the ones that the other shows put up?
It should be SiriusXM Rush.
SiriusXM
Rush.
Rush.
Yeah, I believe it's SoundCloud.com/SiriusXM Rush, but if you
cool.
go to SoundCloud, like the regular SoundCloud.com, and search SiriusXM Rush, you'll see all of our shows are split into playlists, so you can find whatever show you're looking for right away.
Okay. All right, Marco, can you sing us something on the way out here? We got about a minute left.
Okay. Pero tú ya tienes otro, un tipo frío y aburrido. Un tonto que es un reprimido, eso no es para ti. ¿A dónde vas? Oye, mi amor, no me digas que no. Y vamos juntando las almas.
There you
Well,
go.
you guys-
That was
Yeah.
good.
Good
Good job,
job,
Marco.
Marco.
Cool.
Nice.
If you want to hear more of that song, in fact, I'll see if Danny can find it. He may be able to find it, right?
Probably.
We'll see if we can play it on the way back. If that
I'm
doesn't,
almost positive he has
that
it.
doesn't disturb our soundtracks for today.
It's just Phil Collins.
Yeah, it's a
Sorry.
great band. It's a band called Maná out of Mexico, and that's one of their hits from maybe 20 years ago, but it's definitely well known in the Latin community. And I will say, I thought Marco didn't do bad, man. All right, so you gonna hang out?
Yeah, man. If you allow me to, I'll be right here,
All
baby.
right, cool. We'll be right back. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93.
Las Vegas. Viva
Don't make my list too.
He's trying to text with Paul's.
Come on.
Here we go. It's the second hour of the MMA Junkie Radio Show. I know you're feeling that one, right?
Oh man, yeah, man. Music's
you were into it.
You know, it's transcendent, man. It just you don't have to know it, the words. Just it's there. You know, you can feel it. So.
I hear you. All right. Shout out to Bo Mitchell and Oklahoma Knowles on the Facebook chat. Matt Gavin McCarran in there as always. He's from the south side of Chicago, I found out.
Gavin?
Yeah, I don't know why I thought he was a Euro.
How come we need Gavin to come out? I mean, it seems like he listens to the show every day.
For the Junkie Gathering?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, back to the phone lines, 866-522-2846. We'll talk to Alex Garcia, the Dominican Nightmare, coming off a win over Mike Pyle, where he may have put Pyle into retirement. It was a pretty brutal KO, and Pyle is in his 40s. So I don't know. I don't want to speak on behalf of Mike, good friend of the show, but you know, there's something about that 40 number, and then there is something about also getting starched. You start to think, is this worth it? Mike Pyle's made some good money over the years, but you know, whatever the fighters do, as long as they check themselves out thoroughly in between fights, doctor clears them, and money's being offered to them, and the promotion wants them, by all means, go out there and fight. He's 41.
Mike's got a little business too on the side that he does, the fisherman stuff.
Right, yeah, he's 41. This was at UFC 207 at the end of the year there on the Ronda Rousey Amanda Nunes card. Alex Garcia has. You want to say something?
Well, somebody had brought up Mike Pyle the other day, and it was because. Do you remember when we started an interview? He was playing Call of Duty.
I think so.
Screaming at little kids.
Yeah.
Like during the interview.
You know, if you think about it, Swick didn't fight after Pyle either, or after Alex either.
Oh.
So he's retired Mike Swick, and if Pyle were to retire, then he'd be the Mike retirer.
Well, that's true.
I think you need 3 to be something like that, right?
I don't know, 2.
Like if let's say I beat a Brazilian, and then 2 years later I beat another Brazilian. Am I the Brazilian killer?
No.
Right? I think you need like that third one. You start to go, that's his third one. He's the Brazilian killer or something like that.
Think of Sakuraba,
Alex
right?
Stiebling beat 4, and I think he got to being called the Brazilian killer.
Sakuraba was a Gracie hunter after he defeated 4 Gracies, I believe, right?
I don't know when they started naming him, though. But yeah, so maybe it's 4.
No, 4 is a new number.
Yeah. Anyway, he'll join us, and so will Jarred Brooks. So back to the phone lines we go. It's Chris from Fresno. He's up. What's up, Chris?
Every time my phone drops, I call right back, and I get put in the back. What the hell? Nah, but anyway, I just wanted to ask about because I don't know if you guys talked about it. I haven't really heard it anywhere but in one spot. Do you guys know what's the deal with Dustin Gaethje, Marlon Moraes, and David Branch, and supposedly them either giving up or losing their belts?
Well, Branch looks like he's let go of his 2 belts officially, but I have not heard that about Moraes and Gaethje. The only thing I knew was that they were going to be upcoming free agents, So obviously, if they move, then the belt is relinquished, and they'll crown a new champ. But I think Branches was in a different way. I don't even know that he's officially signed with the UFC. I think he had a falling out. So
there's rumors of changes going on right now there. So
yeah,
we just gotta wait and see how that plays out.
I heard it on what's it called, Fighter and the Kid, and Brennan Shaw was talking about it. And he sounded like it was pretty sure that it had happened. He didn't know what was going on. But I just wanted to call in and say, I forgot my main point, but everybody's sleeping on this 208 card this weekend, man. It's going to be sick. I don't know why everybody's tripping, talking about, oh, shouldn't be a pay-per-view and all that. At the top, you got, two legit world-class strikers about to bang it out. I mean, you got Cannonier and Teixeira, two heavy hitters. Poirier and Miller. There's a bunch of good fights. Silva and Brunson. There's going to be some sick fights. I'm looking to put some money down. I'm looking to win some cash. But, yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
What's your parlay, Chris?
My parlay, I'm going to actually do two. I'm going to do a 5-teamer. I'm going to do Randami. I'm going to do Silva, Teixeira. I'm going to do Dustin Poirier. And, crap, who else is in the main card?
You missed did you say Jacare and Tim Boach?
Oh, and Jacare. Yeah, that's going to be my 5-teamer. I'm probably going to put 50 or 100. But then also, I mean, George he's always talking about just throw some small money on the underdogs, because you never know what's going to happen. There's been a lot of cards lately where the underdogs have been winning. So I'm going to put, probably drop 50 on a couple underdogs that I think I like a 3-team underdog like Bosch, McCall, and the dude, there's another, the guy that Wilson Hayes is fighting, because that's probably a long shot, but if you win that, I mean, that's some pretty good money.
Sasaki, okay.
He's plus 425 here at Mandalay Bay.
All right, Chris, thanks for calling in.
Yep, holla.
All right, see ya. I don't know. You think Glover should be higher?
Yes. So this card, I get what Chris is saying. I think what people are saying is it's just not sexy on paper. But when you're watching it, when you hear Jim Miller's walk out, when you hear Anderson Silva for crying out loud, when you see Jacare coming out doing this, you're going to be hyped up. And like George said, two strikers in the main event, it's going to be fun. Don't get me wrong. Just on paper, it's not as sexy as other things we've seen.
Is this the one where you call a buddy and you go, hey, how about I show up with a 12-pack?
I think so.
And I'll give you a 20. You get it.
Well, it's different times, too, now, right? Because no more football.
Right.
There's less things to do.
Yeah. I mean, the worst thing is you're just stuck with that buddy. I mean, because a lot of people like to watch them by themselves because they control the remote. But you can't have it all. If you don't feel like it's worth that, then there has to be a little bit of a sacrifice. You just go show up somewhere, throw down a 20, bring some beer. Night's over, you're out.
Yeah.
And then you wait for the one that is really worth your $60.
Right.
Right? But you don't want to miss it.
No.
Fuck that. There's something about that night. Once it starts, we're hating, we're joking, we're boycotting, we're doing this, we're doing that. And once Saturday comes around, I'm talking about Pacific time zone.
Right.
And it crosses 12. That's when you start thinking, should I go to the cleaners? Fuck no. Like, that's about the time where you want to, start either cooking food or making that last.
Right.
The gym, sit down. Watching fights is a fucking blast.
It is a blast.
It is, right? And don't miss a moment. Either Hayes is really going to show us why he's minus 600. He's going to fuck that kid up. Or Sasaki might get one over on him.
Yeah,
and that might be that little parlay buster or maybe well, we really need to get back into fantasy fighting, don't we? Do you remember every fight kind of mattered and you hit refresh? You had to hit refresh to see where you stood, and that wasn't the end of the world to be a fantasy fighter. I can't believe I don't do that anymore.
Think of it this way, guys. We don't know where this sport's going to be 30 years from now. But wouldn't it be kind of cool when you're sitting around with your kids and all that, and they go, hey, the featherweights, the female featherweights are going to come on, to just go, I saw when the first fight was crowned, the first champion.
Yeah.
You hear our parents say stuff like that, right? And every time they say it, you kind of go, ooh, that's kind of cool. I think it's worth $60
got first.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So let's say we've detracted, we've hated, and we've done our fair share of taking away from what they should have done and what they didn't do or whatever. I think we're now turning the page, saying let's just have a blast and see more.
You got to be all in.
History will be made. Somebody will be the first featherweight champion, and then after that, the UFC will have to do their best to hustle contenders.
Right.
Because that's what's lacking is what's next.
Yeah.
All right, we got this fight. It should be a good one. D. Randami and Holm. I'm with Holm. I'm with D. Randami, but what really is next? I don't know. All right, let's go to Brandon in Louisville. He's back. What's up, Brandon?
Oh, yeah, the shitty phone keeps cutting out on me. I don't know what happened there earlier. Real quick, looking at Kazem's odds, did the conversion. He's getting in the call at 115, so I don't know what he's thinking, but yeah. Wilson Reyes, what really happened? Because, I mean, back in August, he was set to fight for Demetrius.
Mm-hmm.
Demetrius got hurt, fight got pulled. He still fought that night and submitted a guy in the first round, and then now it's 6 months later.
Right.
He's not even mentioned. I mean, you were going on earlier. Who's next for Demetrius? Is it Benavidez? Is McCall getting a shot? Because he's got the draw, this and that. But where's Reyes at in all this? He should be right up there.
Well,
right?
I suppose you're right. So that fight was pulled due to injury, and then we ran into the reality show, and I think they just couldn't risk getting Demetrius back in there, and if he lost, not being ready for, what was to come out of it, which was the winner got to fight Demetrius Johnson, and that was Tim Elliott. Once we crossed that, the two coaches were supposed to fight for the right to fight Demetrius, that being Benavidez, but you are 100% right, Brandon from Louisville. Hayes he's a player in this game. I think him, along with a few of the other veterans that we talked about earlier, they may be the ones that get a next crack at the winner of Demetrius and Joseph Benavidez. It was just timing, brother.
Yeah. It's kind of weird that he's been, all that stuff makes sense, but it's just he's kind of been pushed to the wayside. No one's really mentioning him. This is a guy that was set to fight. He had a contract. He had a bout. He was on posters, and then all of a sudden, no man's land.
Yeah.
Real quick, go. So, what's going on with your UNLV and this football stadium thing?
From what I'm hearing, well, they're supposed to. I think today they have a meeting about that. I know the officials from the Raiders were at this soccer game that they had over the weekend.
Mexico played Iceland here. Did you know that?
Yeah, to see how Sam Boyd Stadium works and if they can make it functional. I know the plan has always been that if the Raiders don't come, they still want to build something, just a little bit downsized, a little bit for the UNLV football team. They re-signed the coach to a few more years, which a lot of people weren't really feeling that, but who knows, man? I mean, it's always been about basketball here, and our basketball team's been shitty.
Did you see the Kevin Iole story about the lease agreement?
No.
They're walking it back now, but the lease agreement was there can be no UNLV logos on the field and some other kind of really sticking it to them BS.
Really? That's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the team, so if they come, I guess if there's a great game, I may go there. But I'll probably not worry too much about it until the new stadium shows
but if
up.
if you're an alumni from UNLV and you go watch the football game,
I thought he meant Raiders.
You want to see the logo on the field. I mean, you want to feel like you're there for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I thought that was something now that groundskeepers could pretty much fix from one day to the next. I mean, if they're able to take down a basketball court and convert it into a hockey rink, I'm pretty sure they can work that out. All right, Brandon, thanks for the call, man.
Oh, yes.
Later. Let's go one more call. Dave in Vegas. What's up, Dave?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
Good, and you?
I'm doing pretty good. I actually want to talk about Silva and Brunson, but first off, I keep wanting to go. I keep hearing everybody so high on Ian McCall, and I really don't understand it. I mean, don't get me wrong, the dude's good, but people remember who his last loss? It was Lineker, and then do people remember who his 2 wins were after losing to Johnson? I mean, it's really not that impressive. The guys only beat Pickett and some guy like, what's his name, Santos, like Iliard Santos, and then he lost to Lineker. And I know he's lost 2 chances to fight, but I really don't see why everybody's so high up on Ian McCall.
Well, I will say this. He drew with Demetrius, and then he wasn't finished by Demetrius when he lost, nor was he finished by Benavidez, nor was he finished by Lineker. So he's tough. He's durable. He's going to give you one hell of a fight. The guys he's beat, not at the top of the list, but he did beat Jussier Formiga, Dustin Ortiz, and Daryl Montague. and those guys had high rankings as flyweights back in the day. We're 5 years removed from that. I get that, but
Formiga and Montague were like 1 and 2, weren't they?
I mean, that first fight in the UFC is a bitch.
Yeah.
Brooks has to get through that. It's short notice against McCall. McCall has great movement. McCall's a veteran. So, if you're going to call into the show and push McCall, you're usually going to push, the stuff I just finished saying. I mean, he is a quality flyweight. He's a top 10 flyweight. It's not going to be easy for either guy. I don't think by any stretch it's a slam dunk either way. Because Goz and I have seen Brooks fight, and I was very impressed in Japan.
Yeah, same here. That's kind of where I was at. I mean, it's kind of seeming like everybody's got him win with a landslide or something, or like it's a real easy win for him. I don't
think it'll be an easy win, but I think he should be able to pull it out. But we'll see, man.
Yeah. I don't know. Now for the Silva Brunson fight, I think that's got what's Silva as an underdog on that, like
plus
145 or something.
Plus 120 now.
120 now. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the best bet to go with. I really think the way he's been coming out talking about what he wants to do is I think he's trying to beat Brunson, start talking shit to get the Michael Bisping rematch. It's seeming like that's what he was talking about in the media scrums. He knows Yoel Romero is the number 1 contender, but he was talking about, business-wise, the rematch between me and Bisping would be biggest. So I think he knows what's up, and he's trying to. I think he came in this fight to win, and I don't think he's just coming in here to screw around. And I like what Dan Hardy had to say in his breakdown. I agree 100%. He can't go in there screwing around with his hands down and shit. I love that. That's why Anderson Silva's so damn fun to watch. But he's got to go in there Thai style and either get back up from takedowns or stuff takedowns. And then in the second round, that's when he can start loosening up, and I think he's going to easily finish Brunson.
Okay, yeah, good analysis.
He also wanted
Thank you,
Conor
Dave.
McGregor, right?
He did.
Conor.
Yeah.
Bisping is normal.
I mean, everybody else.
I'm thinking of something, though. If Souza loses to Bosch, a lot of money's going to come in on Silva in between those 10, 15 minutes that they have, because I think the door's open for Silva to possibly
No.
I'm telling you, Goz.
Come on.
Because him and Bisping are big names.
Yeah.
And this guy is nearing the end of his career, and there's a lot. And fuck, it's WME, IMG. How nutty are those guys?
All right.
They do it back in Brazil again?
I'm telling you,
man.
yeah. They could do that. Bisping would want it because it would pay him more.
Right.
Anderson's earned the right to jump the queue because
if
of his
Bisping
greatness.
loses that fight, he could go, we're 1-1. He's
We're
almost
1-1,
guaranteed
right?
a third
right.
big payday.
Either that or he just retires if he gets lit up, or if he wins. I mean, that's massive.
I apologize
scoreboard.
for losing my temper.
Yeah, but
I was wrong.
Bisping does have. I do want to be clear about something. He would still have to fight Romero first, but I think Anderson would get the winner. I don't know if Anderson would even jump. He wouldn't have to jump Jacare because I just finished saying in the scenario that Jacare loses, but jumping Romero,
ooh, boy, I really pissed
crazy,
Romero
but not,
off. He's
not the
already mad.
craziest thing ever. But I think Romero's penciled in. Yeah. All right, you're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. When we come back, we'll be talking to Alex Garcia, the Dominican Nightmare.
I get paid to say things in this cool voice, and they get paid to be lame. Here are Gorgeous George and Goes.
All right, sitting in here is Michael Nagy from South Carolina. He's just a cool cat. He's been co-hosting here, and I think he brings energy to the set, so he's sticking around here for the rest of the show.
Appreciate it.
Also, how dumb am I? Rob Robertson is his birthday today, right?
Yeah.
We said, who did we force to sing happy birthday to? Mike from Jersey.
Yeah.
Right. But what threw me off was, remember I was teasing you and saying, oh, man, yesterday we were going to go to State Line, or sorry, tomorrow we're scheduled to go to State Line.
Okay.
I keep thinking Big Ralph's birthday's tomorrow because we were going to maybe go to California or something like that. It's today. So Big Ralph, Junkie Nation loves Big Ralph. We love Big Ralph. It's his birthday today. I hope he has a great day.
Happy birthday, Big Ralph.
He's
happy birthday,
truly,
Big
this is one of those dudes that's got like a hard exterior. I mean, he's a notorious ball buster.
Yeah.
Fucking lays into me any chance he gets. Has the whole man cave laughing at my expense. Granted, I jab back when I can. But I've always said, like, I have some buddies where, like, if I had a sister, I wouldn't mind if they dated.
Not about that.
Huh? No. He, to the core, there's a good person there is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Respectable.
Yeah, exactly. So, happy birthday to Big Ralph.
I can't think of one individual that I would be comfortable going, yeah, that I know date my sister. I just want it to be someone I don't know anything about and go ahead, all right, do your thing. I don't want people I know.
All right, let's get to Alex Garcia. Can't say enough about this guy, man. He's a destroyer. He's 29 years old, fighting out of Montreal, Canada. He's originally from the Dominican Republic, and he fights in the welterweight division, 14-3 overall. In the UFC, he's got a record of 4-2. His last fight was a win when he knocked out Mike Pyle at UFC 207. What's going on? How you doing, Alex?
Good, you? How are you guys?
Great, man. Welcome back. Listen, we're about a month
Thank
late,
you for
but
having
congrats on your win over Mike Pyle. That was a great way to close out, 2016.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Yeah, it was a great way how to close out the last year and the best way how to start the new year.
Yeah. Now, 2016 didn't start off well with the loss to Strickland, but you did close out well with the fight against Mike Pyle. But did you feel a lot of pressure? You know, you came in with an 12-1 record. You were 2-0 originally with the UFC. Then you had the hiccup against Magny, came back and beat Swick, lost to Strickland. But one thing I've noticed is fighters that fight at a high level like you, they don't want to lose 2 in a row. One, they're okay with it. They learn, they get better. But 2, they start to feel pressure. Were you starting to feel that?
No, I didn't start feeling any pressure at all, In this sport, you either win or you lose, If you always focus on what happened in the last fight, always, so I would never go further in my career. So either way, either I win or lose. One day I'm going to get caught, one day I'm going to retire, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't put that extra pressure on me. I just try to get better and try to beat on my opponent all the time.
How long did it take you to get over the loss to Strickland and just start, getting positive and healthy so that you could fight again?
Yeah, well, in the beginning of my career, that was a big thing. I think about it. I don't want to lose. But now I got experience. I have a lot of experience, and I train a lot. And I come to realize, in this sport, you either win or you lose. If you get stuck and you lost and you move forward, you're always going to get stuck in there. So what I try to do is try to beat on my opponent for sure. But if one day is my bad day, if I need to realize that, work and put on the side and moving forward and get better and beat the next opponent. That's the way I see it.
I'm nowhere near being a fighter. That's obvious. But if I was, I don't think losing the win bonus would bother me as much as just the loss itself. But what I wanted to ask you was, how about financially? When does it start to hurt? The night of the fight? Or, because I feel like some fighters, when they're really, really good fighters, they already prepare for, I'm going to get my show money, I'm going to get my win money. Some even spend it already. But, how about financially? Yeah. When do you think about it, and how much does that hurt to not get a win bonus?
You know, it hurt. It hurts a lot financially. You know, when you're barely making, you know, a little money. I don't know. We should be making more in January. You know, whatever money you make is not much because the training camp is expensive. And when you only win one check instead of winning two checks, the winning bonus, it hurts because now you need to think tight. Everything is very calculated tight, and there's not much money left for you to do the other training camp because training camp is expensive. You have to pay a lot of coaches, food, gas, a lot of things involved. And when you get one check, it hurts. You know, you have to be very tight with every move you do. When you have the both checks, still tight, but at least it helps a little bit more. Not much, a little bit more.
How much more do you spend on food during a camp versus when you're not in camp? Is it more expensive because it's more organic, or you have, you know, people preparing your meals, or is it the same, or?
Because it's come more expensive because you have to like pay the guy who do the diet, who do the weight cut, and everything. Plus, me, I love food. You know, for me, it's expensive all year round. The food, living when I'm not in training camp, I try to eat good and healthy and good food. I love food big time. But because me specific is because I have to, you know, hire George Law car for like do my plan for my weight cut and dehydration afterwards.
Wow. All right.
Well, now I gotta know, what's your favorite food?
Yeah, and how much did you pay for food today? How much was your lunch today?
Today, well, I have two meals already. I have $20 breakfast and $35 lunch.
God
so already
damn.
I'm in the middle of the day.
You really spent $35 on lunch?
Yeah, today, yeah.
Take it easy, man. What did you have?
And then I'm going like to vegan places, like very organic stuff, and they have cool stuff, and it's good. And I eat, and then to have the bill, please. I always get a surprise. I eat a lot.
Are you
a
good tipper?
I eat a lot. Eh?
Are you a good tipper?
Yes, I am. I give 80%. When I'm tight, I give 15%. That's the law.
Okay, when you're tight, you get 15%, but when you're not tight, how much you get, 20?
18
or 15?
20. Yeah.
Can you do it in your head, or you have to get the calculator out and open an app?
Well, I do it through a machine. It's easy. They give me the option.
Ah, I see.
And I pay with the car.
20 for breakfast? What did you have?
You paid $25 this morning.
Well, that's a buffet. This is Vegas. But what did you have?
Well, in Montreal, you know, it's pretty like expensive. Breakfast. I mean, food in general. It's not as much cheap. It's because the place that I go is like more like vegan, organic stuff like that. In the morning, because today I had a big day of sparring, so I want to eat well, so I feel good during training. I just finished training right now, sparring.
I think at 20 a breakfast, I might start looking at bananas and apples and just.
Yeah, they start looking.
One of those meals has to take.
Okay, normally the minimum is 18, 15 for breakfast here.
Yeah.
Oh well, if you do at home, it's gonna cost me maybe 12.
I see. Okay. And they prepare it for you. Yeah, I got you. Alex Garcia, our guest here on MMA Junkie Radio. Goes, what do you have for Alex?
Alex, I want to talk a little bit about the Mike Pyle fight. Early on in that fight, you were throwing a punch that barely missed. And every time you threw it, it was getting closer and closer. And it eventually ended up being the finishing punch that you threw. Were you feeling that when you were throwing that big hand? Did you feel like it was just a matter of time you were going to land that one punch?
I was working that during my training camp, the whole training camp, and I also was trying to work into to not step forward, because that's one of my bigger problems. When I throw so much power in that punch, I overcommit a little bit. Always, I'm always working on this, and I'm trying to get it better and better. And yes, in the Mike Pyle fight, I knew it was a matter of time because he was getting closer and I was very calm, and I was seeing he was getting closer to me. I knew as soon as he's going to throw a knee or something, I was going to be able to catch him with the right hand. So that's why I tried when he tried to knee me again. Because he tried to me earlier in the fight, like twice. And he got me once or twice earlier in the fight. So I knew it was trying to go again for that knee. So I was just timing the knee, and yes, it was coming close to me, and I threw my right hand, and I knew it was over.
This is 6 fights now in the UFC. Do you feel like you found your groove? Do you feel like you're a veteran now?
I feel like I have experience. I don't feel like a veteran yet. I only have 6 fights in the UFC, you know. I'm getting there. I have way more experience now. I feel more relaxed when I'm in the octagon now. Before I have more pressure because, you know, the UFC is the biggest, so everybody have pressure just to be in there. So now I'm starting to feel more comfortable being in the octagon in the UFC and more relaxed.
Mike from South Carolina has a question for you. Go ahead, Mike. What do you have for Alex Garcia?
Yeah, I know this is a little bit ago, but the Neil Magny fight, you know, I know that was a unanimous fight. And I just want to know, were you making adjustments, you know, between rounds since it did go the whole way? Or did you feel like what you had planned was going to work and it just didn't make it that day for you? Or have you made some changes since that fight?
When the Neil Magny fight you're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And during the fight, I pulled my ACL in the first round. So I have to do adjustment during the fight when that happened. Because I pulled my ACLs when I was out for a year of competition. And yes, I did make a lot of more adjustment in my game just because I want to improve as a fighter. I want to grow every day, and I want to be in the top 10 to 15. You know, if I don't adjust my skill, I won't be able to get there. So what I'm doing every day is just adjusting, getting better, because I definitely want to be in the top 10 to 15 first. Then I want to reach that goal first, and then from there, I want to put more goal to myself.
Alex, you also picked up a performance of the night bonus. So you got win, show,
that helps that.
a bonus.
I mean,
so that was a really, really lucrative fight for you. Did you do anything special with that bonus? Did you treat yourself to anything?
Yes, I did do things special. I helped my family a little bit with they have like some medical problems. I helped them out a little bit, and I bought also myself a piece of land.
Oh, okay. Are you building a home in Montreal?
No, not in Dominican. I went back, I bought a piece of land, leave it there. So just leave it there for the future.
Very cool. All right. Who do you want to fight next?
I want to fight anybody, but there's one guy I want to fight, Kobe Covington.
Oh, that'd be a good one. That would be a good one.
I don't like that dude. He talks too much.
Really? Okay, so it's a little personal, huh?
Yeah, it's a little personal.
Is there anything he said to you directly, or is it just the way he acts in public?
There's one time I was going to fight him, and I was able to fight him because, like today, I hurt myself. And I had to pull out in the fight. He made some comments on the Twitter, made like some thing with Nito and stuff like that. And I didn't like that comment since that day. Yes, to me it has been personal. I want to check him out a little bit. I want to make him quiet a little bit.
Where do you want to fight him? All these cards are popping up now. There's one in Vegas in March. There's one in Buffalo, New York, which I guess is close to Montreal. And then after that, Dallas, Texas. Those are the big pay-per-views. I'm not sure where the fight nights are, but is there a particular fight card you want to fight on?
Well, I want to fight on, there's also the Buffalo cards. I would like to be in that card. It's in April 8th, I believe.
Alex
Buffalo's
Garcia
close to me.
In Buffalo.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Living here, I don't fight him there. I definitely going to fight him in the future. I'm looking to definitely with a boss fighting the UFC. We were supposed to fight previous, and I got to keep myself around so I can fight him either now or in the future or whatever he wants. I definitely want to fight him.
But if they call
check him out a little bit.
If they call you and say you want to fight Colby Covington in Buffalo, you would say yes?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. No, I wouldn't think about it for a second. It's gonna be a yes right away.
There you go.
Look at that.
All right. Well, I'm down, man. Garcia's 4-2 in the UFC. Covington is 6-1 in the UFC. Covington's 11-1. Garcia's 14-3. So I see a lot of similarities there in terms of the matchmaking. You know, I'm down with that, man. I like that one. So it sounds like you're healthy and ready to start
Me
again.
too. I'm down. Yeah.
You could tell Alex really wants to mess this guy up, right?
Yeah.
Did you hear him?
Yeah, man.
Instead of saying, "Yeah, I'd like to fight him," he went like this. He went, "Yeah, I'm fucking down too, man. Yeah, I'm down." You know, and he's like, you can tell right then he's clenching his fist.
He's already grabbing him.
Exactly. All right, so we need this guy to calm down a little bit because he's getting excited. I could tell, Alex, you really want Colby Covington, don't you?
I do.
All right, brother. Hey, it's always great to catch up with you. It's good to hear you're healthy. It's good to hear that you were able to do something with your win bonus, buying some land in the Dominican, helping out the family. So that's really, really cool. And now you're a couple of years removed from that knee injury, so it sounds like everything's holding up there.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much for your time. And your English keeps getting better, too. So thank you for doing these interviews in English.
I'm working slowly, you know.
Yeah. But you know what? You got to pick a couple days of the week to eat that apple or the banana or some oatmeal and keep those costs down. I don't want all your money to go to food. It's barely like 2 p.m. out there in Montreal, and you're already $55 in on your meals.
Yeah, I know. So now I got to chill down for the rest of the day.
All right, buddy. Take care, man. Thanks for doing the interview.
Very good.
All right.
Take care.
Take
Ciao,
care.
guys.
See
Have a
ya.
nice.
And that's Alex Garcia. Follow him on Twitter at Alex Garcia MMA. Thank you to Mitch for lining that up. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM. Rush 93. Alex, I'm going to give you a B- on that question. It looked like I startled you, and that was the plan. I just turned to you real quick. I did the Bruce Buffer. Ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
What does he say? This next
Introduce
bout.
it first.
Yeah, he goes, this next bout is a welterweight encounter. And all of a sudden he goes, introduce it first. And that's what I was trying to do.
What did he say? He said, hey.
He went, hey, whoa, hey. And he
Hey,
scanned.
okay.
And he went to the Magny fight where he tore his knee and lost the fight. I'm
Right.
sure he was thrilled to answer that question. But I thought your delivery was good. So
Okay.
we need a little bit of work, but I'll give you B-.
All right, I appreciate it.
All right. You're a good sport, by the way.
Yes, sir.
You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. We'll be right back. We'll talk to Jarred Brooks when we come back.
They pat down TSA agents because they don't know where those people have been. And because they can. They are Gorgeous George and Goes. And this is MMA Junkie Radio.
Thank you to all our guests this week, including Misha Tate, Patrick Cote, Alistair Overeem, Felice Herrig, Ian McCall, Fernanda Pratas, James Gallagher, Liam McGeary, and Alex Garcia. Our last guest of the day and of the week will be Jarred Brooks, who's already weighed in out in Brooklyn, New York. He's competing tomorrow at UFC 208 versus Ian McCall. His name's been dropped a lot here this week, not only in our Facebook chat, but just on the show. A lot of it having to do with Ian McCall and the bad luck he's had and the fact that he's finally going to get the fight. But the fact that Goes and I were able to call Jarred's fight in Japan. So we've had an early look at the #1 strawweight in the world who is competing at Flyweight this weekend. What's up, Jarred? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Just chilling in this hotel room with my homies. About to go to the mock weigh-ins.
That's right, yeah. So about rehydration and nutrition. I know fighters are taking it a little bit slower now. It's not like you can just start wolfing down a burger. You gotta process this stuff slowly but surely. But have you gotten to the pasta portion or anything like that?
You know, I didn't really have to cut too much for this fight. I'm feeling healthy. I got a good breakfast in. I'm gonna wait for till after the mock weigh-ins to get some good pasta in me. You know, eat some good stuff. Just chill.
When we met you in Japan, you were a pretty chill guy, but I've been hearing down there in New York, like as soon as you saw McCall, you were coming at him. Is that just your style? You like to get in your opponent's face, or I guess how can you explain your arrival causing a little bit of some waves out there?
So I listened to Ian McCall's interview, and that dude is very verbatim. I didn't even call him the F word, what he said, and I did not say that about his mom. I think he just wanted to put out there that I was like a bad guy because I was just roasting him on Twitter and stuff like that. But I wouldn't say that about anybody's mom. I put on Twitter something about his mom, but it wasn't anything like that, like really bad. But
well, what'd you say? Tell us now what you say.
say.
That save us the chore of going to look it up. But what was it that you say? Do you remember?
It was just a your mama joke. It was float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I slept with your mama, now stings when I pee. That's all I said. And yeah, he took that way out of context, and I didn't really mean it to his mom directly. So he must have been cutting weight, and he must not have been liking that too much. But he said something about my mom on there too, so I ain't tripping about it.
Mm-hmm. All right, what do you grade that? Goes slap on the wrist? Or are you laughing, or what are you doing?
See, the thing is,
because yo mama jokes. If you start off by saying yo mama, then I think everybody's like, oh, this is a joke.
Yeah, it's not like I know your mother and this is directed at her. This is anybody, right?
Yeah.
So I probably would have laughed it off, I guess.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty funny one.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, all right.
And when he walked past me, I just said, "Hey, gay boy." That's all I said, and he said that I called him, the other word, and he just took it completely out of context on your show, and letting everybody know that I'm really not like that. But besides that, I have been roasting him on Twitter, and it's definitely gotten into his head. He's needed his mental coach this whole week, talking to him, so. He's definitely not in the right mind state, in my opinion.
Jarred, is it something about Ian, or is it just the fact that he's the guy that's in front of you right now?
One, he's a guy in front of me. He's talked a lot of crap about one of my friends, Justin Scoggins. So, I mean, I've never really liked Uncle Creepy. I mean, he's definitely a really, really good fighter in the flyweight division, and he's paved the way for a lot of flyweight fighters to get their name out there. But, I see him as another name. I don't see him as somebody that I seen in 2012 fighting for the title.
So a lot of our listeners know who you are, and they know because we mentioned when we called your fight out in Japan, I told a story about hearing something going on in the hallway and coming out of my room thinking, what is going on out here? And it was you. You were hitting pads, and I remember speaking to you and you and your coach, and you told us exactly how you were going to win your fight. And you went out and you did everything you said you were going to do. So my question for you is, what are you going to do to Ian McCall? Can you call your shot here?
Well, I'm gonna try to finish him in the first or second round with knockout. But if not, I'm gonna submit him in the third.
Submission in third. So
simple, keep it simple and easy.
You're wearing him down, and you're counting on him to make a mistake on the third, and you'll capitalize.
If it goes to the third.
If it goes to the third, I like that.
But like I said, Ian McCall is a good opponent. You never know. You know what I'm saying? But I think I'm confident in my skill set, and I think by the third round he should be out.
This is Jarred Brooks. He's fighting at UFC 208 on Saturday against Ian McCall. You can follow him on Twitter at @the_monkeygod. He's undefeated, 12-0. And I'll tell you what, our chat has been filling up. So I think you have a lot of there's a lot of Jarred Brooks fans that are out there pushing it. They're not just saying you're going to win. They're already calling their shots. He's going to knock him out in the first. He's going to destroy him by the second. He's this, he's that. So you're coming in with some pop, even though this is your debut.
Hey, I can't complain with my fans. I love my fans and I love my family. So if they're behind me and it's helping me with my energy, then thank you, fans.
Do you live in South Carolina or just train with guys from South Carolina? Because I know you're originally from either Wisconsin or Michigan, right?
I'm originally from Indiana, but I train in Michigan.
Okay, so South Carolina. For some reason, I thought you were with South Carolina because of maybe it was your coach or the Scoggins name when we were talking in Japan. But you've never trained with those guys out there?
Oh yeah, I trained at Revolution Mixed Martial Arts. Tons of talent. I just needed a new look and you know, a real connection with my coach. And James Lee and I have a really good connection, and it's sparked me up.
Very cool.
You've done ATT as well, right?
Yeah, I was down at American Top Team. I was just around a bunch of fighters and got involved into just stupid habits, so got away from that, and you know, I'm around good people now.
Now, you fight at 115 when it's available to you, but I think you had told me in Japan that you have fought 25 before, so you were very confident that if you got the call to fight in the flyweight division, you'd be good to go. However, today you said you didn't have to lose much weight. So in reality, come fight night, how many pounds are you usually giving up as a flyweight when you're competing?
I have no idea how much Ian weighs. That's his problem and how much he cuts. But besides that, I'm faster, I'm stronger, and I'm more technical than Ian, and you'll see that tomorrow night.
I love it. This guy's using confidence, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. All right, well, listen. Thank you so much for doing the interview on the day of weigh-ins. We'll let you get back to hanging out with the homies, putting some more water in your body, and eventually that pasta bowl. But I want to thank you for the time here on the MMA Junkie Radio Show.
Hey, thank you guys, and hopefully I'll be on. Well, you guys interviewed Ian on a video cast, didn't you?
The show is audio and video.
Yeah, we're on YouTube, on Facebook, or you may have heard it on Sirius XM.
Well,
There's
hopefully after I knock this guy out, y'all can get me on here again.
Yeah, we'd love to. Count on it. All right, buddy. Thank you, Matt. Thanks a lot, Jarred. Take care.
All right, thank you, George.
All right, see ya.
Appreciate it.
And thank you to Amanda hooking that up. Amanda Early, back in the house. She says she misses us, guys. I told her that seat's always open if she wants to come by and co-host. Well, listen, we're running out of time here. Thank you for co-hosting.
Hey,
Thanks
I appreciate
for showing
it, man. I
up.
had a great time.
Thanks for downloading the show the last 8-9 months.
Yes, sir.
Cool cat. I'd love to have you back at an MMA Junkie gathering.
Yeah, man. I'm
we got
working
one
on
coming up in May, so if you can make it down, I think he'd fit in, wouldn't he?
Definitely, yeah. 83% maybe when you walk.
I'm getting to 90-something now.
So. Oh, are you?
Yeah,
all right.
Man. Now that I can get her something to show and she can see what it's all about.
Right.
And what, you know, the MMA is about. She doesn't watch a lot of fights, but she's seen them as she walks by.
What if you did this? What if you walk up and go, what's the game tonight, goes? There's the Heat and the Nets. Go. Give me 100 on the Nets and give me 100 on the Heat. So, really, you're not going to lose any money other than the $10, the juice.
Right.
But you bring home the winning ticket and you go, baby, I did this for you. And so you kind of sweeten the pot. In reality, you didn't lose anything.
No.
And that might be what puts it over the top.
Could be.
Yeah?
Could be.
Yeah, there's a little sneaky stuff you can do, you know what I mean? Or you can just come home with the traditional Vegas T-shirt or...
Yeah. Well, you know, I think the other thing you were talking about yesterday is treating her like a queen. I think is going to be my ticket to glory.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Yesterday you
Treat
were
her like a
talking
queen?
about, you know, feeding them, getting them food, breakfast in the morning, you know, doing all the things to them.
Oh, yeah. Well, look, it's not a bad thing, but, yeah, you can't go too far with it is what I'm saying. Because then all of a sudden it comes to be expected. There's less respect coming the other way.
Right.
Got to put your foot down every once in a while.
Right.
And say, this is the way it is. We're going here. Not, would you like to go here? This is where we're going. You just look at them. You hold the glare. Make them look away first, but you hold the glare as if to say, do you have a problem with that? But you're not saying that. You just go,
10 seconds.
This is where we're going.
Right.
All right, we're out of here. Thank you
Thank
to
you, brother.
Mr. Nagy here, Danny, of course, and Goes. I'm George. Have a nice weekend. Keep it locked on MMA Junkie. Be champions.
You'll never be the same.